talk about your upcoming training with the Women's Consortium, Fatherhood Engagement and Social Connections, Wednesday, July 8th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. through our virtual GoToMeeting format. I'm glad you took some time to tell us a little bit about your training and also about yourselves. Just wondering how long you have been training with the Connecticut Women's Consortium or training in general.
In regards to the Women's Consortium, we've done multiple trainings within the last 3 to 4 years with them on different topics here. And obviously this fatherhood engagement and social connections one is very dear to us. As far as training as a whole, Welcome to Reality, we've been doing a lot of stuff between 8 to 10 years in a variety of arenas here. One in particularly with training, so I've had opportunity to train with my partners at Welcome to Reality, but also have done some other training at other agencies and also other higher education institutions as well.
Thank you. And Marcus?
Yeah, thanks, Kathleen. Again, similar to what Qur-an was sharing, we had an opportunity to work with the Women's Consortium on a numerous amount of occasions on different training topical areas, which has been great. Myself personally, I've been providing psychoeducational learning opportunities for well over a decade, whether it's at the collegiate level, doing some consultation work on the macro and national level, and also really evaluating practice issues and service delivery for public and nonprofit agencies.
Great. Thank you, guys. And Qur-an, you just said that this is near and dear to your heart, this upcoming training. This is a tough one. You don't have to, but the question reads, can you describe it in 10 to 15 words, the central focus of this training?
As far as 15 words here, obviously fatherhood, I think parental involvement and paternal insight as far as to raising a child and or children here. And I think just being able to, just hold your end of the bargain in regards to parenting.
Thank you. Yeah. And Marcus, anything you can add, or the words that you would use to describe it?
Sure, certainly. I would just say certainly not to by any means attempt to exclude the value of mothers, but also elevate the awareness of the importance that fathers bring to the table and how together collectively, for the sake of the children, there are great possible benefits.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. I'm looking forward to this training. And just getting to meet you guys, can you tell me a little bit more about your work and what brought you here today to talk about it, but the work in general and why you do the trainings with it?
Well, I would say, first and foremost, all of our partners here, Welcome to Reality, we're all social workers through and through. And a lot of times with social work, you see gaps in systems, in supports, and how families are supported. And there's one thing to just talk about it and identify it. There's something different to make the commitment to play an advocacy role to be part of the solution versus, just the challenges. So I think at Welcome to Reality, at least for the training piece, we thought it was really important to highlight certain areas that we think, are in need of further exploration and attention, and how could we work together to bridge these clearly existing gaps in policy, service delivery, and supports for families. And that's what we decided to do.
Great. And now I'm thinking, Qur-an, you can keep going with this, but what Marcus just said made me wonder, so bridging the gaps and all in the name of the organization, your company being Welcome to Reality, how does that fit in?
Yeah, it was interesting when we were going through names when we formed the business or what have you. That one just stuck out because it's pretty much self-explanatory. And I think even in today's climate and what's going on here, it couldn't be more relevant at this time. But I think just as a whole, just the reality piece to it, just understanding that there's different phases of reality. And as Marcus alluded to, us being social workers, just the importance of having that involvement, be able to touch different areas effectively. And also, when it's all said and done, especially in the training environment, knowing once the training's concluded, like you can kind of tell, like, they got something out of it, even if it was only one takeaway, that takeaway can be something major that they can provide, whether it's professionally, or personally as well too. So I think it's that feeling that we do get when we're together, not only as partners, but also being able to provide a service to those who want to work with us.
And that leads right into the next question. What's the best compliment you've ever received or been the most meaningful to you from one of your trainings?
Well, I mean, I guess we could easily say in the evaluations, people give 5s or, leave a note at the bottom. But I really think when we're working with adults and we're really subscribing to create trainings that support core principles of adult learning, I think when we get responses and feedback after the fact, where people are able to apply some of the things that we've kind of shared and discussed, in the training, when they're able to circle back around and say, hey, remember that resource that you provided us? Hey, I had a chance to use it. Remember some of those uncomfortable conversations that we had to promote growth? We were able to see it. Remember how we had, used this activity as a means of discussion? We found it to be helpful and been able to share this information with others. For myself, I think those are one of the most gratifying things because it's not self-serving as an individual, but an opportunity to make contributions for others who are making commitments to help others.
That's great. And do you guys have any feedback on doing this work virtually and how you've been able to connect with people?
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of like a parallel process. I mean, I really feel like there are a few things that could replace the face-to-face experience, but we're evolving into a new world, at least in the moment. So, I mean, a lot of the great things that take place in the world were met with some resistance, and over some time and some adjustments, people have been able to find ways to make it work for them. So again, for participants, I think they're kind of adjusting to find ways to be present, not just by visually, but to participate. And I really think it really leans on the facilitators and the trainers to really find ways to be creative, to get the best out of participation, interaction, and also be open for some feedback and support, thoughts for consideration after the fact as well.
Yeah, and I think Marcus hit it on the head, just being able to adjust, just the adaptability on both ends, those who are participants, but also the trainers as well. I mean, like I said, I think Marcus pretty much said it, and I kind of just sum it up to, what we do as a business. Welcome to reality.
The reason why we're really excited about having the opportunity to facilitate this training on fatherhood is, we really realize all the research is really highlighting that children do best when they have support from their fathers, when it's safe and when it's appropriate. But we know that absent of that can have an impact on self-esteem, self-worth, can increase violence, introduction to the criminal system, all of these things. So it isn't just like mom versus dad. It's a community thing. It's a systems piece, and it's actually a public safety component as well. So again, just being able to elevate the awareness, separating our personal value systems and biases away from that, and just really focus on the benefit for the children, families, and communities. I think we really need to take a moment to focus on both parents. This training just happens to focus on the fatherhood perspective.
Absolutely. And I think, when it comes to fatherhood, I mean, sometimes, fathers historically have been left out or being deemed as the other parent. And if we're talking about, just the family as a whole here, whether, they're co-parenting separately or in the family unit here, that father is very, very important, that father figure in that person's life. Even if you're talking about, child welfare in that arena as well, when you tie in permanency and what have you, to just the importance of the father and his role in the family here, be it, physically or any other way, but definitely just having some type of influence and consistency in the child's life. To Marcus's point, those statistics can change as far as, criminal involvement, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Thank you, because this training I think is really important, and having two social workers do this and Even in these times, we have found at the consortium that we are connecting in ways, our trainers are connecting with participants in ways nobody expected.